My name is Emily Carter. I'm a storyteller by profession, but not the kind you're used to. Here on Revenge Room, I share real stories, raw stories. Stories of betrayal, breakdown, and that one moment when everything changes. If you've ever trusted someone and been broken, if you've ever watched your whole life collapse in a single day, then this place is for you. Welcome to Revenge Room. Subscribe, because every story here isn't just told, it's felt. Today's story is about a man who lost it all in just one day. But from that darkness, he rebuilt something unstoppable. This is the story of Daniel Brooks, and this is the day he calls Black Day. Sometimes, all it takes is one day to destroy everything: your job, your name, your marriage, your future. July 9th started like any normal Tuesday for Daniel Brooks. By sunset, he was unemployed, humiliated, abandoned, and accused of a crime he didn't commit. He didn't know it then, but that day wasn't the end. It was his rebirth. And what came next, no one saw coming. From the outside, Daniel Brooks had it all: a charming home in Lincoln Heights, a six-figure job at AmeriCore Financial, a beautiful wife named Vanessa, and a little boy, Ethan, just 5 years old, with eyes that sparkled like hope itself. He was the guy neighbors waved to with envy, the one who jogged every morning at 6 a.m., kissed his wife goodbye with a smile, and showed up to work like he owned the damn place. Inside his home, everything looked perfect. But perfection is a delicate lie. One crack, and the whole picture shatters. That Tuesday, July 9th, began like every other. Daniel brewed his favorite Ethiopian roast. Ethan was chasing the family dog in pajamas. Vanessa was scrolling through her phone, half listening, half texting, as always. "Don't be late tonight," she said without looking up. "I'm meeting the board today," Daniel replied, adjusting his tie. "They're discussing the senior partner slots." A promotion he'd worked 10 years for. Vanessa gave him a weak smile, not a proud one, just polite. Like something was missing. He noticed, but he didn't say anything. That's the thing about Daniel. He trusted too easily. He didn't know that by sundown he'd lose everything he built and everyone he loved. The perfect life was a painting. The call that changed everything. Daniel arrived at AmeriCore Financial with his usual confident stride. Everyone in the office greeted him with smiles. He was well-liked, respected. He'd helped restructure entire departments, trained juniors, closed impossible deals. The senior partner promotion was practically in the bag. At 10:42 a.m., as Daniel was reviewing a client portfolio, his office phone rang. And someone was already holding a match beneath the canvas. Daniel arrived at AmeriCore Financial with his usual confident stride. Everyone in the office greeted him with smiles. He was well-liked, respected. He'd helped restructure entire departments, trained juniors, closed impossible deals. The senior partner promotion was practically in the bag. At 10:42 a.m., as Daniel was reviewing a client portfolio, his office phone rang. The caller ID read, "Internal Audit Division, Martin B. Gaines." His brows furrowed. Martin Gaines was the bank's compliance director, a man known for his cold detachment and zero tolerance for misconduct. Daniel picked up. Daniel Brooks speaking. Martin's voice was as blunt as a blade. We need you in conference room C, now. Bring nothing with you. Is everything okay? Silence. Then a slow exhale. Just come, now. The line clicked off. Daniel stood still for a moment, confusion tightening in his chest. He looked out the window at the bright Chicago skyline, then back at the blinking red light on his phone. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. As Daniel entered conference room C, the air felt colder. 3 people sat across the table. Martin Gaines, cold as always, Tina McBride from HR with a stack of folders in front of her, and Logan Miller, his own colleague and supposed best friend, who wouldn't meet Daniel's eyes. Please sit, Martin said, his tone sterile. Daniel sat slowly. Tina opened the folder. We've received reports and internal data suggesting unusual account activity under your credentials. I'm sorry, what? Specifically, Martin interjected, unauthorized fund movements, multiple, including client accounts. Daniel felt the floor shift beneath him. You think I stole money? Martin didn't answer. Instead, he turned to Logan. Mr. Miller, please share your statement. Logan finally looked up. His eyes were empty. I saw Daniel accessing restricted files 3 nights ago, after hours. Daniel's mouth fell open. Logan, what the hell are you saying? I didn't want to believe it either, Logan said, fake regret lacing his voice. But the audit logs back me up. Daniel shook his head. This is insane. You know me. Martin leaned forward. We'll need your badge, Daniel. Effective immediately, you are placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Tina added coldly. Security is waiting outside. Daniel looked around the room. Everything blurred. The betrayal, the setup, the lies. Logan still couldn't look at him. As Daniel stood, he whispered, You just ended the wrong man's career. Logan flinched. But Daniel wasn't angry. Not yet. That would come later. For now, he was just shattered. The call had changed everything, and it was only the beginning. The ride home was a blur. Daniel didn't remember walking through the lobby, didn't remember the Uber driver's face. All he could hear were Martin's words. Unauthorized activity, internal investigation, security is waiting. His career, 10 years of loyalty, gone in 10 minutes. But still, he had hope. Vanessa. She'd understand. She knew who he was. She'd listen. Right? Daniel opened the front door of their Lincoln Heights home quietly. Vanessa? She was already standing at the edge of the hallway, arms folded. No hug, no what happened, just a cold stare. I heard, she said. Already? Daniel blinked. How? Logan called me, she replied, her voice flat. Said you've been stealing. You believe that? Daniel laughed bitterly. You really think I'd do something like that? Vanessa didn't respond right away. Then she turned and walked into the kitchen. You've changed lately. You're always working. You're stressed. Maybe I don't know what you're capable of anymore. The words sliced deeper than Daniel expected. He followed her. Vanessa, look at me. This is a setup. Someone's framing me. You have to believe me." "I don't have to do anything," she snapped. Then she picked up her phone, tapped it twice, and tossed it on the table. "I've already spoken to an attorney." Daniel froze. "What?" "I want a separation," she said. "You're unstable, and I'm not going to let Ethan grow up in a scandal." "Ethan is our son," Daniel shouted. "I would never do anything to put him in danger." "Then prove it to the court," she said coldly. "I'm filing for full custody." And just like that, his last safety net vanished. Daniel stood in the center of their kitchen, the place where birthday candles were once blown out, where Ethan had taken his first steps, now turned into a courtroom, and he'd already been judged. That night, Daniel sat alone in a motel room on the south side of the city. One duffel bag, a dead phone, no job, no family. All in a single day. Black Day, that's what he began to call it. The day the mask came off the world. The day love vanished and war quietly began. A war he didn't start, but one he would finish. The next morning, Daniel woke up to the sound of vibration. His old phone, cracked, barely working, was lighting up non-stop. 30 missed calls, 42 new messages, group chats, news alerts, emails. The nightmare had gone viral. His name, Daniel Brooks, was now trending on local news. Senior financial officer accused of embezzlement. Millions missing, internal suspect named. Corporate scandal rocks AmeriCore. His face was everywhere. LinkedIn? Deleted. Bank email? Suspended. Phone? Flooded with questions, silence, or hate. At first, he tried replying to friends. "It's not true. I'm being framed. There's no proof because I didn't do it." But no one replied. Or worse, they did. "Just lay low for a while, man. Even if you're innocent, it looks bad. Sorry, my company can't be associated with you right now." Daniel's former colleagues, golfing buddies, even his college roommate, gone, one by one, like leaves falling off a dying tree. The motel manager asked him to leave by Friday. "Just got a call from corporate. Someone reported you as a risk. Sorry, man." He wasn't just broke. He was radioactive. Even the church he used to attend every Sunday with Ethan. The pastor looked down when Daniel entered. "We're praying for you," he said, but didn't invite him in. That night, Daniel walked for hours, past the AmeriCore building that now had a new security guard, past the park where he once pushed Ethan on the swings, past the bakery where he used to surprise Vanessa with almond croissants. Everything was still there, except him. His world had moved on, like he'd never existed. He ended up on a bench near Riverside Flats, staring at the black water beneath the bridge. No home, no job, no wife, no future. He whispered to himself, "How do you fix something when no one believes it's broken?" Just then, a voice spoke from the shadows. "You don't fix it, son. You rebuild it from the ashes." Daniel turned. An old man, dressed in a dark coat, stood nearby watching him. His name, Walter Hayes. And Daniel had no idea yet, but this stranger was about to become the turning point of his life. The night was colder than usual. Daniel sat motionless on the bench near Riverside Flats, staring into the black water below. He had no plans, no phone signal, no strength left to pretend. That's when the voice came. You don't fix it, son. You rebuild it from the ashes. Daniel turned his head slowly. A man in his late 60s stood under the flickering street lamp, leaning on a cane. Dressed in a long black coat, gloves in one hand, a gentle yet tired expression on his face. He's seen that look before, he said, stepping closer. On myself, 15 years ago. Daniel didn't respond, just stared, hollow. The man sat down beside him. Name's Walter Hayes. Daniel remained quiet. Walter smiled. You don't have to talk. I didn't either when my black day came. That phrase, black day, made Daniel look up. What did you say? Walter's eyes softened. That's what I called it. The day they took my company, my reputation, my family, everything. All for a crime I didn't commit. Daniel whispered, Me too. Walter nodded, like he already knew. Let me guess. You were framed. The people you trusted turned on you. The world shuts doors. And you started to wonder if maybe they're right about you. Daniel swallowed hard. Exactly. Of course, Walter said. That's the blueprint. They isolate you, make you doubt yourself. But here's the trick, son. The fall isn't the end. It's just the quiet before the real fight. Daniel glanced away, shame burning in his chest. I don't even know where to start. Walter reached into his coat pocket and handed Daniel a business card. Kevin Reed, Independent Digital Forensics. He helped me, and he owes me a favor. Daniel stared at the card. I don't have money. Walter smirked. Good. That means you're dangerous. The desperate ones, we fight the hardest. A silence passed between them, the kind that speaks more than words ever could. Walter stood slowly. Find the truth, Daniel. Find it, and drag it into the light. You want justice? You will have to pull it out with your bare hands. He turned to walk away, but before disappearing into the fog, he looked back and said, Black Day may have broken you, but it also woke you up. Daniel sat on that bench long after Walter was gone, holding the card like it was a key. For the first time in days, he didn't feel alone. He felt something else. Purpose. The next morning, Daniel found himself standing outside a small brick building in downtown Los Feliz. No signs, no flashy logos, just a faded number on the door, Suite 204. In his hand, Walter's card, slightly bent but still burning with promise. He took a breath and knocked. The door creaked open. A man in his early 40s with messy hair, dark eyes, and a hoodie that said encrypted or nothing peeked out. You Daniel? Yeah, he said cautiously. The man opened the door fully. Walter called, said you were about to walk into the lion's mouth. His name was Kevin Reed, cyber forensics expert. Hacker turned legit. Tech ghost for hire. Kevin's office looked like a crime lab met a computer museum. Monitors with green code running, circuit boards on the wall. On the desk, a coffee mug that read, Trust no one, verify everything. Start talking, Kevin said, sitting down. What happened? Daniel told him everything. From the sudden firing, to the missing $4.2 million, to the bank logs, the fake emails, the vanishing contacts. Kevin didn't interrupt once, When Daniel finished, Kevin leaned back. "Classic internal wipe job," he said. "Someone with access set you up. Deep, professional work." "Can you prove it?" Daniel asked, barely able to hide the desperation. Kevin grinned. "I can do better. I can find who did it." He pulled out an old laptop. "Give me everything you've got. Any backup emails, screenshots, logins, even stuff you think is junk." Daniel handed over a USB drive from his storage locker, his last digital backup. Kevin plugged it in. "This'll take a few days, maybe less, but you'll owe me." "I don't have money," Daniel said again. Kevin looked up. "I don't want money." "Then what?" Kevin's voice dropped. When this is over, when you rise, you'll expose all of them, publicly, brutally. I want the whole damn world to see what they did to you." Daniel nodded. "Deal." As Daniel left the building, the world still looked gray, but a little less heavy. For the first time, he wasn't surviving. He was fighting. And soon, they would see. Everyone would see. Kevin Reed didn't sleep. For 36 hours straight, he combed through encrypted files, scrambled metadata, fake server logs, and what seemed like harmless calendar entries. But Kevin wasn't looking for the obvious. He was hunting for the intentional mistakes. Because no matter how smart the criminal, they always leave fingerprints. And finally, he found one. The entry was hidden inside a deleted meeting request, a timestamp misaligned by just 0.03 seconds. Kevin paused. That meant one thing: manual alteration. Someone tampered with AmeriCore's official servers, and that someone had access only a few select people held. He called Daniel. "We've got something. Get back here now." Daniel rushed to the office. Kevin pointed at the screen. "You were right. You didn't miss a meeting. You never got the invite. It was removed from your calendar, retroactively." Daniel's eyes widened. "Can you trace who did it?" Kevin smirked. "Already did." He tapped a key. A name appeared on the screen. Graham Ellis, Senior Security Engineer. Daniel froze. Graham wasn't just IT. He was Vanessa's ex-boyfriend from college, the one she insisted she'd blocked years ago. "Oh my God," Daniel whispered. Kevin noticed his reaction. "You know him? Too well?" The room went silent. Kevin leaned back. "This isn't just financial, Daniel. This is personal." "You're telling me she was in on this?" Kevin didn't answer right away. "I'm saying she didn't stop it. And that says enough." Daniel clenched his fists. "I need to talk to her." "No," Kevin said. "You need to outsmart her. If you confront her now, you lose your advantage." "Then what do I do?" Kevin smiled coldly. "We plan to seed. And let her think she's still in control until she buries herself." The hunter had just been born. That night, Daniel stood in front of his old house, watching from across the street. Vanessa came out, dressed far too elegantly for a normal Tuesday. She got into a black SUV. The driver? Graham Ellis. Daniel's heart didn't break. It turned to ice. 3 days later, Daniel walked into a quiet cafe near Pacific Avenue. He wasn't there for coffee. He was there to meet a man who didn't know he was a target yet. Leon Ramirez, AmeriCore's junior finance analyst, and the weakest link in the chain. Leon was young, nervous, trying too hard to look important in a cheap suit. Daniel? Hey man, I didn't think you'd actually show up. Daniel smiled coldly. Why wouldn't I? Leon laughed awkwardly. You know, after everything. Daniel leaned in, voice calm. I've been thinking about everything, especially those audit trails. Leon stiffened. Audit trails? Yeah, the ones you used to run. You were the one who generated the quarterly reports, right? Leon nodded slowly. Yeah, but I just followed instructions. Daniel kept his expression blank. Bingo. Whose instructions? Daniel asked, casually sipping water. Leon looked around nervously. Look, man, I really liked you. You were the only manager who treated me like a human. But after you got fired, things got weird. People started acting quiet, like something big went down. What did they tell you? Just that you were caught moving money. That's it. Vanessa said it was sealed internally to avoid bad press. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Vanessa. Pulling the strings even from her golden throne. Leon wiped his forehead. I shouldn't even be talking to you, man. Daniel leaned in. They're using you, Leon. If this blows up, you're next. Scapegoat number 2. Leon's eyes widened. You think they do that? They already did it to me. You're just easier to break. He slid a napkin across the table. Write down every name that ever gave you a command to alter or rerun reports. I won't use it unless I have to. Leon hesitated, then scribbled a few names. Daniel glanced down. One of the names made his blood run cold. Tobias Crane, the VP of Operations, the man who gave Daniel his first promotion. That night, Daniel sat with Kevin in the dark office, lit only by computer glow. We got our first crack, Daniel said. Kevin read the list. Well, well, Tobias Crane. Never trusted that guy. Fake smile, killer instincts. We go after him next? Kevin shook his head. No. We build the full map first. You can't kill a beast by cutting the tail. We aim for the head. Daniel looked at the list again. And the head is Vanessa. And this time, she'd never see it coming. Daniel knew he couldn't beat Vanessa and Graham from the outside. He had to infiltrate their world, which meant getting close to someone inside, someone with access, doubts, and secrets. Enter Maya Jensen. Maya was Vanessa's executive assistant, smart, sharp, underpaid. She had worked beside Vanessa for over 4 years, saw and heard everything, and Daniel remembered her silent loyalty during his time there. But silence, he learned, isn't always agreement. It's survival. He found her in the Lincoln Financial District, grabbing lunch alone outside a salad bar. He waited until she tossed her cup in the trash and turned around. Maya. She froze. Her eyes widened. Part shock, part fear. Daniel? I need 5 minutes, he said quickly. Just 5, then I disappear. She looked around and pulled him toward a side alley. What are you doing here? If Vanessa finds out, she already took everything from me. I've got nothing left to lose. Maya looked at him, eyes searching. You didn't do it, did you? Daniel shook his head slowly. No, but I know who did, and I think you do too. Her lips parted. You have proof? Working on it, but I need a way in. I need to know what Vanessa's up to now, who she's meeting, what she's planning. I know it's not just about me. Maya hesitated. Then she whispered, "You're right. It's bigger. She's trying to merge AmeriCore with a shadow firm. No board approval, all off books." Daniel's jaw clenched. "She's stealing the entire company." Maya nodded. "She thinks no one's watching, but I've seen things. Emails, burner phones, passwords she hides in plain sight." Daniel reached into his pocket and handed her a small, encrypted USB drive. "This is from my side. Everything we're gathering. Plug it in when you're alone. If you can find even one file, one message, you could help bring her down." Maya's hands trembled as she took it. "Why are you trusting me?" Daniel stared at her. "Because you looked scared, but not surprised. And people like that usually want out." She looked away, then back at him. "I'll help you. But if this goes wrong—" "It won't," Daniel said firmly. "Because we're not playing her game anymore. We're rewriting the rules." Maya returned 2 nights later. She didn't call, didn't text. She showed up at Daniel's apartment, rain-soaked and shaking, but alive. And what she brought with her could destroy everything. "You need to see this," she said, stepping inside and locking the door. Her voice was low, controlled. "Vanessa has a private vault, a digital one. It's not connected to the main system. Not even Kevin could sniff it out." She unzipped her laptop bag, revealing high-resolution photos from Vanessa's office. One in particular, a large oil painting behind Vanessa's desk. "What's this?" Daniel asked. Maya pointed to the brushstrokes near the corner. "It's a hidden pattern, a sequence of numbers painted in gold, 7 digits." Kevin, looping in through video call, leaned closer. "Coordinates?" "No," Maya said. "It's a password." The painting wasn't original, gifted to Vanessa by Tobias Crane, the VP of Ops. Hidden in plain sight, it was part of her login sequence to a secret drive on a separate server. Maya had watched her enter it once by accident. She said, "The full login requires Face ID, voice match, and a code, but she keeps a spare bypass card in her cabinet's false bottom." Daniel leaned forward. "Can you get it?" Maya hesitated. "I already did." She pulled out a small silver card, no branding, no marks, just a glowing chip. Kevin whistled through the screen. "That's custom military-grade access. Where the hell did she get this?" "My guess," Maya said, "Graham. He has a background in DoD encryption." Daniel took the card, holding it like a detonator. "If we use this, there's no turning back." Kevin nodded. "Then we do it right. We clone it, trace every keystroke, and leave no digital fingerprints." Maya added, "And one more thing. In the files, there's a project name she keeps referencing." "What is it?" She pulled out her phone and showed the screen. "Black Day." Daniel's pulse spiked. "What's that? A server?" "No," Maya said. "It's a date, an event. Something big. And it's coming in 2 weeks." Kevin's voice went flat. "That's when the quarterly audit hits. If she's planning to wipe data, it'll be then." Daniel stared at the glowing card. "Then we move before she does. Because if Vanessa wants to burn everything on Black Day, we'll light the match first." It was nearly midnight when Kevin's encrypted laptop connected to a ghost server Daniel had never seen before. No company logos, no IP path. Just a blinking cursor on a black screen. And at the top corner, 3 chilling words. Black Day Protocol. "We're in," Kevin whispered, his fingers flying. Daniel stood behind him, jaw clenched, every muscle tight. "Is it safe?" Kevin smirked. "Nothing is safe, but they won't see us. Not yet." The system responded with latency, like it was fighting back, scanning them, deciding if they were friend or foe. Then, a list of directories appeared. Maya joined on audio, listening in from her apartment. Go into the one labeled Investor Vaults 9. That's where she stores off-record files. Kevin clicked. It opened up into a labyrinth of folders, each one named after shell corporations and offshore firms. Daniel narrowed his eyes. These aren't just accounts. These are fronts, international laundering routes, Cayman, Zurich, Dubai. Kevin zoomed into one marked Scion Group Holdings. Inside, documents detailing the transfer of AmeriCore shares to anonymous third-party entities. She's gutting the company, Kevin whispered, selling it from the inside out. One folder was password protected even beyond Maya's credentials. Kevin cracked it with an exploit kit. What opened made Daniel's stomach turn. Employee dossiers, psychological profiles, surveillance logs. Even Daniel's private emails, archived, indexed, and dissected. She was watching me, Daniel muttered. Kevin scrolled faster. She was watching everyone. And then they found it, buried in a directory labeled Fire Exit. A single video file, time-stamped 2 months before Daniel's termination. Maya's voice cut through. What is it? Kevin clicked play. On screen, a conference room feed. Vanessa, Graham, and Tobias Crane were mid-discussion. Vanessa's voice was icy. He's loyal, but he's not stupid. When we move the funds, Daniel's going to notice. Tobias replied, then we burn him first, before he burns us. Graham nodded. Frame him, fire him, freeze his assets. We control the story. By the time he speaks, no one will care. Vanessa smiled. Good. Then let's make his last day a black day. Silence. Daniel slowly sat down. His hands were trembling. They planned it. All of it. I wasn't a casualty. I was a target. Kevin looked up. And now we have proof. Daniel stared at the frozen image of Vanessa's smirking face. Then it's time we flip the story. From Black Day to Judgment Day. To destroy Vanessa, Daniel had to make her confess, not to him, but to the world. And for that, he needed bait so perfect, she couldn't resist clicking it. We're creating a ghost memo, Kevin said. Anonymous, leaked from inside. It'll look like a whistleblower is about to expose the fraud, but the memo will be fake, planted. And we'll tag it with invisible trackers to trace where it goes, who opens it, who panics. Daniel nodded. Make it sound just real enough to trigger her. Got it, Maya added. We'll say it's a senior exec who couldn't stay silent and mention just enough detail that Vanessa will believe one of her own is turning on her. Within hours, chaos began to ripple through AmeriCore's firewalled servers. The fake whistleblower memo was flagged, then reflagged, then quarantined, but not before it reached Vanessa. Daniel watched from the surveillance tap Maya planted in her office. Vanessa walked in at 6:03 a.m., saw the flagged message, closed the blinds, and made a private phone call. We have a problem, she told Graham. Someone's leaking. It's not Daniel. It's someone still inside. She paused. I want every device checked, every camera reviewed, and if this goes public, I'll bury whoever started it. Kevin's monitor lit up. She opened it. She downloaded the attachments. She ran the metadata check. Daniel leaned in. Did she say anything incriminating? Kevin smiled. Better. She started deleting things. Daniel's eyes narrowed. Let her. The more she deletes, the guiltier she looks. When the forensic team sees this later, it'll be clear. She knew, and she tried to cover it up. The fake whistleblower memo was flagged, then reflagged, then quarantined. But not before it reached Vanessa. Daniel watched from the surveillance tap Maya planted in her office. Vanessa walked in at 6:03 a.m., saw the flagged message, closed the blinds, and made a private phone call. "We have a problem," she told Graham. "Someone's leaking. It's not Daniel. It's someone still inside." She paused. "I want every device checked, every camera reviewed, and if this goes public, I'll bury whoever started it." Kevin's monitor lit up. She opened it. She downloaded the attachments. She ran the metadata check. Daniel leaned in. "Did she say anything incriminating?" Kevin smiled. "Better. She started deleting things." Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Let her. The more she deletes, the guiltier she looks. When the forensic team sees this later, it'll be clear. She knew, and she tried to cover it up," Maya added quietly. "She's scared, Daniel. She doesn't trust her people anymore. And fear is the first crack in her empire." Daniel knew digital evidence wasn't enough. People needed something they could see, something so undeniable it would break the silence of every newsroom in the country. So, he planned the leak. He chose a public drop point, a mailbox in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, used by investigative journalists for anonymous tips. Kevin printed select pages from the ghost server, money trails, shell company transfers, employee surveillance logs, all marked with redacted names and handwritten notes. On top of the stack, a simple message: AmeriCore is not a company, it's a crime scene. Maya disguised herself with a hoodie, sunglasses, and a rideshare account under a fake name. Her mission? Deliver the files by 10 a.m. But the moment she stepped out of the car, her phone buzzed. An unknown number. A blocked call. She ignored it and reached the mailbox. Just as she opened the drop flap, a voice behind her. "Maya, don't." She turned. Graham, Vanessa's fixer, dressed in plain black. No badge, no ID. But those cold eyes, unmistakable. "Walk with me," he said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Now." Maya stayed calm. Daniel warned her. If they found out, they'd come for her first. Graham walked her to a nearby bench. "We know what you've been doing. You and Daniel and the hacker. Kevin, right?" Maya didn't flinch. "Then you also know what's coming." Graham leaned in. "What's coming is silence. You keep pushing, people get hurt. Accidents happen. Daniel has a kid, doesn't he?" That hit like a blade. Maya whispered, "If anything happens to that boy, Graham, I will kill you myself." Graham stood. "This is your last warning." And he left. Maya didn't drop the envelope. Not there. Not after that. She rerouted, took 2 trains, walked 7 blocks, and used the backup drop site Daniel had set up. A secure P.O. box registered to a made-up publishing firm in Manhattan. The files would land on the desk of investigative reporter Aaron Colt, a name that Vanessa feared. And once Aaron had them, there would be no putting the monster back in its cage. That night, Daniel watched his son sleep. The words Graham said burned through his mind. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was war. And in war, someone always bleeds. The first headline dropped at 6:01 a.m. Front page. AmeriCore whistleblower exposes billion-dollar fraud. FBI reviewing materials. Vanessa's empire didn't crumble. It detonated. Aaron Colt had published the first wave of documents with surgical care. Not everything, just enough. The transfers, the shadow companies, the surveillance ops on employees. Each document had one thing in common: Vanessa Caldwell's initials. And at the bottom of the article, a message from Aaron. This is only the beginning. Daniel watched it unfold from a diner across town. CNN picked it up first, then Bloomberg, then BBC. The stock dropped 38% before noon. By 3 p.m., AmeriCore's board of directors announced an internal investigation. At 4:12 p.m., Vanessa went radio silent. No interviews, no tweets. Just a brief statement. These accusations are false and politically motivated. I have always operated with integrity. But no one was buying it. Daniel watched it unfold from a diner across town. CNN picked it up first, then Bloomberg, then BBC. The stock dropped 38% before noon. By 3 p.m., AmeriCore's board of directors announced an internal investigation. At 4:12 p.m., Vanessa went radio silent. No interviews, no tweets, just a brief statement. These accusations are false and politically motivated. I have always operated with integrity. But no one was buying it. In the shadows, Daniel and Kevin monitored the back-end analytics of Aaron's article. "She's getting over 1.2 million reads an hour," Kevin whispered. "And we haven't even released the video." Daniel nodded. "She hasn't seen the worst part yet." He glanced at the file still sitting on the drive. The fire exit conference room footage. The moment Vanessa plotted Daniel's destruction with Graham and Tobias and said the words, "Let's make his last day a black day." Meanwhile, chaos hit AmeriCore offices like wildfire. Board members resigned, employees staged walkouts, investors filed class action lawsuits, and inside Vanessa's penthouse, she was surrounded by lawyers, red-eyed, exhausted, trying to plug a ship that was already underwater. "How much did they leak?" she asked. No one answered. She looked at Tobias. "Find the source and end it." Daniel received an encrypted text that night from an unknown number. "You think this is over? You ruined my life. I'll return the favor. V." The sun rolls over Manhattan like it always did, indifferent to the chaos below. But this day was different. This day, the world would see what really happened behind AmeriCore's glass walls. This was the day Daniel erased the black day forever. At 8 a.m., Aaron Colt uploaded the final piece of evidence, the conference room video. Grainy, black and white, but crystal clear where it mattered. Vanessa Caldwell's voice caught on a hidden mic. Quote, "So, we agree. Daniel gets sacrificed. He's too good at his job. He's asking too many questions. Make him look unstable. Frame the numbers. We'll call it downsizing. Hell, make it his black day." Unquote. The clip exploded online. Social media drowned in hashtags. Hashtag Black Day Truth. Hashtag Justice for Daniel. Hashtag AmeriCore Exposed. Vanessa Caldwell was summoned to testify before a congressional committee, under oath, and the footage played behind her while her empire crumbled beneath her red-soled heels. Daniel stood at the back of the hearing room, silent, calm, alive. Vanessa refused to speak to him, but her eyes, once cruel and calculating, now darted like a cornered animal's. Her lawyers whispered, the committee pressed harder, and in that moment, under the weight of her own arrogance, Vanessa cracked. I did what I had to do, she snapped. They were coming for me. The board, the partners, Daniel was just in the way. Silence. Her lawyer paled. One of the committee members leaned forward. So you admit it was intentional? Vanessa looked up, eyes red. I built that company from nothing. I deserved to win. He took that from me. In that one line, she signed her own verdict. Weeks later, Daniel stood outside the courthouse as federal agents escorted Vanessa in cuffs. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at him, like a ghost who realized the living no longer feared her. Aaron Colt won a Pulitzer. Kevin got a job at a top cyber investigations firm. Maya opened her own digital security startup. And Daniel? He finally reclaimed his life with his son beside him. No lies, no fear, no shadows. On the 1-year anniversary of his Black Day, Daniel uploaded a message to his personal blog. Quote, to anyone who's ever been silenced, they may take your job, your name, your peace, but the truth will always find its voice. Mine did. And now, I speak for those still afraid too. Unquote. The Black Day was over, and Daniel Blake was just getting started.